You ever have a moment when you open your bank account app and, it hits you? The number, it's actually smaller than you thought. Now, imagine that, but with your confidence. Maybe you hit a wall at work, a rejection, a mistake you didn't see coming, and suddenly your internal account balance tanks. That's what happened to me. A few years ago, I wrote the job description for a leadership role I dreamed of. I built systems, led the team, and believed I was the next in line. Then the phone rang. It wasn't the congratulations call. It was the we went another direction call. And the person they chose, yeah, that was the one I had been mentoring. And that's when I realized I wasn't just broke financially, I was emotionally bankrupt. Good day to you all. Welcome to Bad Day Excellence, the show where we take the messy, chaotic, real parts of life and turn them into fuel for growth. I'm Brian Walsh, author of Habitcraft 101, and a guy who's trying to help 9.5 million people over the next 15 years. Basically build a better life through habits, finding more clarity, and making every day count for something. So, with that said, let's get back to that moment that forced me to face a question I had avoided for years. Who am I after I fail? Most of us don't like to sit in that question. We rush to fix things, distract ourselves, or pretend we don't care. But if you zoom out, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the down payment for it. See, I've started to look at failure like currency. Every mistake, every setback, every uncomfortable lesson. It's a deposit into what I call the fail bank. You either let your failures collect dust like unclaimed checks, or you learn to bank them so they grow into experience, confidence, and clarity. Here's the truth most companies, schools, and even families don't talk about. We've built a culture that's terrified of looking stupid. We avoid risk because failure feels like debt. But in reality, every failure comes with interest if you choose to reinvest it. When I started to apply this to my own life, everything changed. At work, at home, even in how I parent my son Mason. Because now, when something doesn't go the way I planned, I don't ask, why me? I instead ask, what's the lesson worth? It's a small mindset shift, but it compounds. If you're listening right now, feeling stuck, burned out, or questioning your purpose, maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just sitting on a pile of uncashed lessons. Let me tell you about a night I'll never forget. The kids were asleep. My wife and I finally had 5 minutes of quiet time in the basement. I wanted to talk to her about where my head was at, trying to chase this dream of turning Bad Day Excellence into something bigger. She listened. Then she said something that hit me harder than any boss ever has. She said, I hate your podcast. She didn't hate the message. She hated that I wasn't living it. That's when it all clicked. You can't build external success on internal debt. So the next morning, I started fermenting thoughts. Everything I'd learned from failure, I could remember. What worked, what didn't work, what I'd do differently. And somewhere between all of these ping-ponging thoughts and the reps in my morning workout, the idea for the fail bank was born. Now I'm turning that idea into something bigger, what I call Failnantial Wealth. It's the belief that failure isn't a cost, it's capital. Each mistake is a deposit that compounds into wisdom, resilience, growth. And here's where it gets powerful. This isn't just a personal philosophy like bad day excellence. It's a cultural one. Because when companies, leaders, and families start banking lessons instead of hiding them, they grow faster, stronger, and together. That's what I'm teaching now. And it's what I'll be bringing to stages soon. So here's my challenge for you. Think back to failure that's still weighing on you. One you'd rather delete from your highlight reel. Now ask yourself, what if that was your biggest deposit? Say it out loud. I just made my deposit. That's the start of your comeback. If this message hit home, share it. Tag me. Tell someone who's been carrying the weight of a bad day that they're not broke. They're building financial wealth because failure isn't debt, it's a deposit. And the interest is your growth. I'm Brian Walsh, your guide to turning setbacks into deposits. Thanks for tuning in to Bad Day Excellence. See you next time.